Welcome to this video about 4 ways to help your child pay attention during homeschool lessons. This can be so frustrating as a homeschool parent when you've got something really exciting to share with your child and you're really excited about what you're going to be learning with them, and your child is totally distracted or just off in their own world. It can be so frustrating as a homeschool parent, and it can be so discouraging to our kids who are trying to pay attention but are getting in trouble. So I wanted to share 4 simple tips today that you can try to help your child pay attention better during lessons and to help them increase their attention span. So if you could please take a minute and like this video and hit subscribe on this channel so that you'll get a notification whenever new videos are released. So the first tip that I have to share about helping your child improve their attention span is to be realistic about how long of a lesson your kid can pay attention to given their age. A formula that I like to use and that I tell other homeschool parents to use is to multiply your child's age by 2 to 5 minutes. And that's the amount of time that your child can pay attention to a lesson before they'll need to take a break. So for example, I have a 6-year-old. So for him, I'm going to be looking for lessons that are about 6 times 2, which is 12, to 6 times 5, which is 30 minutes. So I want my lessons for him to be somewhere between 12 and 30 minutes, and definitely not longer than 30 minutes before he gets a break. And when he's taking those breaks, that means he needs to get up, he needs to move around, he needs to be able to have a few minutes to just relax and not be focusing on things with his brain, and just give both his body and his brain a break from learning before he goes back at it again. So not more than 2 to 5 minutes times your child's age, and that's a realistic length of time that your child can pay attention for. The second tip I have for helping your child improve their attention span is to really try to focus on homeschool at an earlier time in the day. You're looking for a time when your child is well fed and well rested and just generally able to pay attention to their lessons, because things like being hungry or being tired are big distractions for kids when they're trying to learn. So make sure that the time that you're choosing to get your homeschool done is a time when your child is really able to focus and pay attention to the best of their ability. The third tip is to make sure that the area that you're working in is free from distractions as much as possible. This can be really difficult as homeschool families, and especially when there are multiple siblings in the home, but it's important to make sure that your child has a quiet space to work and that the space where they're working is as free from distractions as possible. So you want to look at what's around them within arm's reach. You want to think about what kinds of sounds they're hearing while they're working, and just make sure that you can minimize those distractions as much as possible. You never really know what's going to be distracting to your child, but just taking some time to really think about that environment that they're in when they're working can be a really helpful way to minimize distractions and help your child pay attention. And then finally, it's important that we help our children practice the skill of paying attention and that we give them opportunities to really focus on increasing that ability that they have. So while they're working on their homeschool lessons during those 2 to 5 minutes per year of their age, it's important that they really are staying focused on the task as much as possible. And so we want to help our kids to stay focused during that time so that they're learning to stay focused as they're completing their lessons. And the more that we can just encourage them during that short period of time to stay focused and help them to get back on track whenever they get distracted, the more that we can help them to be able to develop that skill of being able to pay attention for a longer period of time in the future. So those are the 4 tips to help your child improve their attention span. First, you want to be realistic and make sure that your lessons are not more than 2 to 5 minutes times your child's age. Second of all, you want to make sure that you do homeschool early in the day at a time when your child is well fed and well rested. You want to make sure that there are no distractions in their homeschool space as much as possible. And then while they're concentrating on their lesson, you really want to make sure that you're helping them to stay focused and motivated.